welcome back to Founders in Jeans. I'm your host, Emily Jean. And before we get into the episode, I just want to say a huge thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I also wanted to say that if you enjoy the show, feel free to leave a review on Spotify or Apple, wherever you're listening to this, and also to follow us. You can follow us on Spotify, of course. You can follow us on Instagram at Founders in Jeans. You can also find me on Instagram at emily.jeans, or you can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect with people on there, and I have a lot of good conversations from listeners. Also, you can always leave a bad review for us. I'm totally fine with that. And in fact, I think that's exciting. I would love to know what we can do to improve. So you can also leave comments below and let me know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. I actually do read every single one. We also have a newsletter that comes out once a week, so you can get all the updates from us. We also put in some weekly business and marketing updates in there, as well as some personal notes from me. You can subscribe to that on my LinkedIn, also through the Instagram and in the show notes below. Anyways, that is all from me. I'm so excited for you to listen to this episode. I hope it's a good one, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye. KJ Blattenbauer of Hearsay PR. Welcome to Founders in Jeans. I am so excited to chat to you today. Before we get started, would you like to give a little bit of an introduction in your own words for people who have not heard of you yet?
Sure. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. My name is KJ Blattenbauer. Like you said, I'm the founder of Hearsay PR, and I'm a publicist with more than 28 years of experience helping really cool people and bold brands get the attention that their hard work deserves.
Right. So I have so many questions for you because I think PR is kind of still a mysterious word to a lot of people. And I think it can cover so much. But instead of diving right into that, which is a big topic, I want to ask you what originally pulled you into PR and how you originally got into that.
I think it was kind of by accident that I got into it. I was always that kid. I'm from a very small town out of North Dakota, which is probably more cows than people. But I learned very quickly in a small town, whatever you do is going to make it home before you do. So literally, you can start crossing the street, and before you finish crossing the street, someone's going to tell your mom you were crossing the street wrong, that kind. So I learned very early about public perception and shaping it in my favor. But I also think I was always that kid that talked a lot. Like my report card always came home with talks too much. Be a great student if she just stopped talking. And I just love people, and clearly I love talking. So when going through college, I was trying to decide what I should be. I thought about going pre-law and being a lawyer. I hate arguing. It's just not in my nature. So I took a couple marketing classes, and one of them had a little focus on public relations, and I just fell in love with the promotional aspect of it. You basically get to spend your entire day discovering cool things and then telling your friends all about cool things. So I love my job, and I love promoting people, and I just get to talk all day.
I love that. And I also really relate to this because I was also the talker in my very small town in school growing up. So I very much understand this background. I want to clarify, I know that you have called yourself in the past a publicist who hates fluff. So I'm curious, what does that really mean in practice?
I think it's use of jargon, like industry jargon, word salad, extra words, trying to sound smarter than you are. Like if you're a dentist, you're a dentist. You're not a tooth whisperer. Like things
Mhm.
like that. Like call things what they are. You can be a PR person, a publicist, a PR pro, whatever you want to be, but like make sure people know what the thing is.
Yeah,
That's kind of fluff for me. There's just unnecessary language, making things bigger than they need to be. Keep it simple. That's
right.
that's my no fluff mantra.
Right. I think that's even more resonates even more too in the age of AI with when things are really kind of the entire sentence becomes fluff and you don't really know what's actually being said anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a very poignant way to put it. Okay, well, why don't we just get right into this for founders who are listening to this? What would you say is the number one reason that great founders stay invisible even when they have really good stories?
I think they think that the work's going to speak for itself. Like if I
Mhm.
do good work, if I put a good product out there, the right people are just going to find it. It's going to magically take off. I'm going to do one social media post. I'm going to go viral. Like, next stop is dominating the world. And it's just not the case. It's not that the squeakiest wheel gets all the attention. It's that if people don't know what you're up to, if they don't know the good you're producing, the service that you're providing that's going to make a difference, the product you created that could change the world, if you're not directing their eyeballs and standing up for yourself and being like, "Hey, look at this. This is really cool." No
Mm,
one is going to do it for you. They're not going to
right.
magically find you. And the lies that Meta gaslights us about going viral and who's seeing our post and what's happening and the changes every day there, it's not like it used to be. You have to find different avenues to promote what you're doing. And PR is wonderful about that. I think too many founders just think they're going to be discovered magically. They're going to write the book. It's going to become a bestseller. That's not how
Mhm.
it works. You're going to put the website out there. Everyone's going to go to it. That's not
Right.
how that works. You have to drive the traffic. But I also think the second thing that they do is they wait till they've made it. They wait till they're
Mm,
big. They wait till something happens. They wait till they're at 6 or 7 figures. When the truth is, $0 producers, startups, hobby business, side businesses to those 6 to 7 figures, they are the most nimble, the best, the ones poised for PR because they have the best stories. They have the best up ramp. They're mobile. They don't have the red tape of corporations or the 6 or 7 figure businesses, but they also are the stories everyday people want to hear about. They want to hear about people just like them who are doing cool things.
right. I love to what you said about people thinking that they can just build a website or something like that and people come straight to it. I heard this great quote once that was saying a lot of people approach marketing or the marketing side of their business as if I build it, they will come. And
Mhm.
it's actually funny because I think in the original days of the internet, that was true to an extent. Is like it was such a small population that that actually could happen.
Yeah.
And now we are so overwhelmed with so much of everything, information, different brands, competitors, whatever that may be, that people cannot just rely on that anymore.
No, you can't.
Yeah. I know that you have worked with both household names and also rising founders, like we're talking about now. What would you say has been the biggest difference in how these two kind of different stages of growth approach visibility?
I think the difference is so many people, when they are starting smaller, are so afraid of taking a risk. They think one small misstep or taking on a challenge or stepping outside of their comfort zone is going to torch everything that they've done. When in the
Mm,
reality is, if you're working with a publicist, if you're working with a professional, they're never going to let you make a misstep. They're there to prevent the misstep. Whereas I think the 6 or 7 figure earners, the founders that are further along, they know they've already failed. They've already had the misstep. They know if they hire a professional to do a job for them, they trust that professional. And I think the trust is kind of the issue, because if I hire someone to do my website, I'm not going to micromanage them on how to do the website. I'm going to hand them all the things they need to build my website, give them a deadline, and my website better be built in that time because I
right,
trust them to do what they're doing. And I know if I just keep inserting myself, I'm going to be the bottleneck in that process getting done. And I think that that is the difference between some people just starting out in PR and those who, have established businesses. The starting out feel like they need to know everything and be involved in everything. And the truth is, this is one thing where you can hand it off to a professional if you don't have time, energy, bandwidth to do it, and let that professional go do it. And they're going to do amazing things for you.
right. I think too, because PR as a term covers such a wide range of things, I want to ask, you've said before in the past that press that pays off. So what does the ROI really look like in modern PR in your opinion?
It's gonna vary by industry, it's gonna vary by expert, and it's gonna vary by channel. Like, what you get from a podcast is gonna be different from digital, different from
Right.
print. But I think PR at its root is an art, not a science. So you can't, like, I can post on Instagram right now and Meta will pull up all this data, like, it's this many followers, that many followers, these people, at this time. PR isn't going to give you stats like that, but what it is going to do, if you're a beauty brand and you're in the Cut or the Zoe report, you're going to see 200 to 400 orders in the next 24 hours after that publishes, right? If you're a business owner or a service based business and you're on Forbes, you're going to immediately see a 35% uptick in the traffic going to your website. And those people are people that are interested. Those are people that are going to convert. The beauty of PR is that media lives forever. So
Mm.
first thing you're gonna get is instant credibility, right? If I say I'm an amazing publicist, that's one thing. If you see me on social media bragging about it, that's one thing. You might see other people commenting that I'm good. That helps my credibility. But if you see me on Fast Company, if you see me in Inc., if you see me in Forbes, if you see me in a bunch of other places and they're saying that I'm an expert in PR, that third party credibility is instant visibility. That gets you indoors, that gets you more PR, more interviews, that gets you on more podcasts, but it also gets more clients viewing you and taking you seriously. So that's instantly, and you can't really measure that. I mean, you
Hmm.
can measure the funnel coming in, but the other part is the sales. The sales are going to immediately come once you start doing your own press. I've been doing podcasts for a couple of weeks now. I've seen a 50% increase in people coming to my website, but all of those people, they are signing up for discovery calls. More than half of those people after that discovery call are signing up for my services. And I have some very big ticket services. They're not batting an eye because they've already met me by, listening to me on podcasts. They hear what I'm about. They know what I'm offering. You're turning extremely cold leads or people who haven't heard from you into immediate warm leads. They know you. They've vetted your expertise. Outside influences like Forbes, like other publications, like other media outlets have vetted your expertise. They've already done the heavy lifting for you. And once you do one, it snowballs into another media opportunity, into another media opportunity, and it just keeps growing. But they also last forever. This podcast might come out in the next few weeks, but it's going to be out indefinitely. And
Hmm.
people can listen to it for years to come.
Right. Absolutely. I think there is a feeling with PR, and I like to what you said about it being an art, is that although the investment is not always that clear, and maybe the return might not be that clear, because of an element of flexibility, I want to say, in both those areas, the payoff is actually much bigger than like
Mhm.
perhaps traditional forms of advertising. So I want to ask though, for founders who are really on a shoestring budget,
Mhm.
how would you say they can go about to start landing press if they are not quite ready to either commit to a big agency or they just have a smaller budget to work with and they still want to work with an agency?
Sure. You don't have to have a huge Manhattan-based flashy agency, right? Like, you
Mhm.
don't have to have an international agency if you're just starting out, no matter what industry you have. You can work with a solo boutique like myself, or you can honestly do your own PR. There are a variety of PR books out there. I've written two. My second one comes out in January, but it teaches you the basic 12 steps of public relations. And so for $14.99 or less, you can learn everything there is to know about PR and go do it yourself. But
Mm.
it's you don't have to pay for media placements. I don't pay for media placements. I don't let my clients pay for media placements. That is not PR to me. That is advertising. If you have to
Mhm.
pay for it, it's an ad. We don't do those sorts of things. But for founders that are on a budget or don't want to spend a lot of money, it's finding the right person to work with, or it's honestly go to Google. You can Google your industry. You can go to where it says images, shopping, news, click the news tab. It's going to show you exactly who's writing about your industry. And then if you click on those articles, it's going to show you exactly who's writing about you and your competition. Pitch that person, reach out to them, start interacting with writers and reporters on social media. Threads is a great place to mine for data or opportunities or experts that know literally anything, or to get yourself on podcasts. You can go to Barnes and Noble, go to the magazine section, open it up, and the second page is called a masthead. It lists out every single person and what they write for that publication. Pitch them. So you can find a million free ways to do your own public relations. You just have to get scrappy. And if you're an entrepreneur or a founder, you know what that's like.
Right. Okay, let's say somebody is like, okay, I know I want to work with a PR agency in the future. I'm not
Mhm.
quite at that level yet, but is there kind of one habit or like even a small visibility thing that they can do that can compound either later or eventually into some more like major media traction?
Yes. Even if they don't want to do PR or if they want to do it later, like you said, they're not ready yet,
Mhm.
get your house in order. What's on your website? What's on your LinkedIn profile? What's on your other social media profiles? Make sure it is all the same. Make sure
Mhm.
your links are always going to the right spot and make sure they're going to a spot. They're not broken. But, if you're retail heading into the holiday, don't have your links be talking about a Memorial Day sale.
Mhm.
Just make sure that the messaging, no matter what platform someone hits to learn about you or Google or research about you, that it all says the same thing. Because what you really want at the basis of PR is for people to think and talk about your business or brand how you think and talk about your business and brand. So much so that it's repetitive to them. They mention your exact phrasing in rooms that you're not in. So the first
Mm,
thing would be to get all your ducks in a row across all of your platforms that are external facing. And the second thing I would tell them is whatever your goal is, figure out where that target audience for that goal is. Pick the platform where those people are. Do whatever you can to keep promoting yourself on that platform, whether it's
mm,
podcasts, whether it's, digital links online, whether it's in print, whether it's traditional radio. However,
mhm.
you're going to reach your target audience, get your house in order with your messaging, and then towards your goal and your target audience, pick one platform and just stick
Mhm.
with it for 30 or 60 or 90 days. You're going to see traction and pickup and turnover.
And I think because so many founders feel awkward talking about themselves, is there a way that people can, or have you seen a way that people can build confidence without sounding too overly self promotional, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Everyone hates talking about themselves. We were raised
Um,
that it's boasting or bragging or ick or gross or
right.
whatnot. But the truth is we're all founders because we saw a space in the market. We saw a service that wasn't there. We saw a product that wasn't there. Or, one of our loved ones needed something, couldn't find it. We created it for them or in their memory. That sort of thing comes from a place of service. And if you reframe talking about what you do, it's something you love. You've put your blood, sweat, heart, tears, maybe all of your money into it. If you aren't speaking about that to people, you're robbing the exact people you want to serve
Hmm.
from knowing about your product, from knowing about a solution that could change their lives, from knowing about a solution that could help change one of their loved ones' lives. And so it's not boasting or bragging to promote your product. You're excited about something, you're passionate about something, you care about something. Share that with people because you're going to be so surprised how many people are also passionate and care about exactly what you're talking about.
Right. I want to ask you, because I didn't get asked before, how long have you been in doing PR for?
I've been doing public relations for 28 years, since
Hmm.
literally before the internet was a thing. I used to have to look up reporters in a phone book,
Hmm.
which is a book full of phone numbers for people who don't know what a phone book is.
Hmm.
I've had my own agency for the past 13 and a half years.
And I want to, given that, and given that you have written, I think, and you're telling so many other people's stories, how
Mhm.
have you managed to stay creative throughout that process so that you're still able to bring like the best service to every single person?
I think part of it is it's just a creative mindset, right? It's just you're either born to tell stories or or you do math, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't hire me to do your accounting. I cannot do math. That my brain does not work that way. But creatively, everyone has a story, even when they think that they don't. I have a different reason for starting my business than you have a reason for starting your business. Every one of us approaches it, even if we're all bakers, we approach what we bake, how we bake, and our bakery a different way. It's just mining for that stories. Once you ask the right questions to a potential client, the story writes itself for me. I just help make the words a little bit prettier. It is very, very easy once you sit down and remove yourself from the equation
Hmm.
to find the story around your brand or your business.
Right.
Mhm.
Speaking of story and writing, you are writing Pitchworthy
Yes.
while
Mhm.
also running a business. So,
Yep.
can you talk to me? How have you been able to kind of balance being the face and also the engine of your brand at the same time?
It's crazy and it's hectic, but it's time management.
Mm,
If you can be a parent and you can work full time and you can also stay sane and have hobbies and friends, then you know how the time management goes. So it's a lot of early morning writing, it's a lot of late night writing, it's a lot of trying to manage things in between client needs, but it's also just fun. I want more people to have access to public relations because I think it's so important for those that are just starting out or those who have side hustles or those who just are thinking about starting a business. You have to have the right framework. And there's so much poor information out there on social media that it's just passion driven. I need to get this book done. And I'm so excited. It comes out January 3rd.
yay. And can you talk to me a little bit about what it's about and how you think it'll benefit people?
Yeah. So it's called Pitchworthy. And the whole point of that is that every single business, every single brand, every single founder is pitchworthy. It's half pep talk, half self-help, because I want you to see how exciting and amazing and wonderful your ideas and your products are, just like someone like me, an outsider, would see them. And then on the other end, it's the basic tenets of public relations. It's what public relation is, how you find your target audience, how you decide your keywords, how you message, how you pitch and follow up. And if you have to deal with the trolls, how you handle those sorts of situations. So it's kind of like having a publicist in your pocket.
I love that. I'm definitely going to be reading it because I have
Thank
lots
you.
of questions. I'm curious then, looking forward, what do you think, especially with the introduction of AI and also obviously social media has been evolving so quickly, and I think the whole industry of PR has evolved so quickly. What do you think will separate pitch-worthy founders from the rest in the next few years?
I think it's their story and the human aspect of it. I think AI is great. I think social media is great for a variety of things. I also think they're detrimental for a variety of reasons. Look, anyone can write anything with AI, but it's robotic. It takes the human aspect out of it. It creates a word salad, and it just removes anything you or I can really relate to. Like, a
Mhm.
robot is not going to tug at your heartstrings. A robot is not going to tell your story the way that you could tell your story. Might help you put two sentences together and get there faster, or do deep research, which is fantastic. But a robot's never going to replace me. It's not going to replace a website editor. It's not going to replace a copywriter, because storytelling, I truly feel like, after we've all been gaslit by Meta enough with all the changes and whatnot, I feel like people are returning back to stories. They like long form. They're reading blogs again. They're reading
Yes.
books again. We want to hear podcasts, but the most popular podcasts are ones like yours, where you get to hear someone's story about why they're doing what they're doing. That's what drives people's interest. And I just don't see those things going away. I see more and more as we move on this side of the pandemic. I think people are craving that comfort, and stories provide that.
Right, right. And that human connection element.
Mhm.
Yeah. Is there one PR myth you wish people would stop believing?
That they have to be big, that you have to be famous, they have to be a
Mhm.
Kardashian to have publicity, or to do public relations. Literally anyone can benefit from additional eyeballs and interest on their product or service. And if I had a business idea tomorrow, I would immediately start laying the groundwork for PR. I wouldn't even wait for it to be an incorporated business. I would start doing the basic PR practices. So when I hit the ground running, I am running.
Is there kind of a trend either in PR or maybe like more of a visibility trend that like really pisses you off?
Yeah, there's quite a few, actually. We could go on for days, and then this wouldn't be rapid
Okay, I
fire.
love this.
What really is pissing me off lately is social media has made it so anyone can be an expert, which is great.
Mhm,
You discovered cool things from social media, but not everyone can be an expert. And it
mhm,
just, bad advice, especially on TikTok, it really just rubs me the wrong way. And I think it's important that you vet the people that you are getting your information from. Don't just believe everything. On the same side of that, another thing that really, really bothers me is
mhm,
the return of pay for play. I see so many small businesses, in particular, startup founders, that they get promised the world by featured in a magazine, featured on TV, featured on podcast. And oh, by the way, we're just going to charge your credit card for the production or for the whatever. That's advertising. It's pay for play. It's not public relations. It's shady. It's dirty. It's disgusting. I absolutely hate it. My clients don't do it, and you don't see ROI for it. But there is
mhm.
never, ever in the history of ever, if someone is asking you to pay thousands of dollars for you to appear on a TV segment, no, do not do that.
Right,
Don't do that.
right. I have definitely seen companies fall into this trap. I won't
Mhm.
name names, but I think people would be shocked at the magazines that I have seen pull this kind of stuff.
It's so gross. It's so
Yeah,
gross, and it's now more
bizarre.
than ever, and it's a grift.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Is there a brand or maybe even a brand founder that you think is really nailing their storytelling right now?
Oh, yes. I think that Emma Gertie, she is the CEO of Skims, of Good American. She has an Aspire podcast. Fantastic. Nails it. Tells what it's like to be a founder of multiple businesses, to be running multiple business, the real story of it. And she has an amazing backstory, like comes from nothing. Just absolutely fabulous. She did a podcast with Mel Robbins a couple months ago, and
Mm,
it's, I think, won one that every founder should listen to, but I also just think that she is a good follow. Good, wonderful, interesting follow.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with that, actually. I love I love to we actually had a guest who was on her show, Hustlers, which came out, like, last year, I think,
Mhm.
and spoke so highly of her, and I love to I think you can see how passionate she is on the camera, and she's really perfected that art of storytelling, but
Mhm.
the guest I had on was saying that she is exactly the same in real life. It's like she's really authentically herself, and I think she's done a beautiful job at owning that.
Right, right.
I wanted to ask you, last question. Is there a book or a podcast or a resource or a course or anything like that that you can recommend to budding entrepreneurs?
Yes, oh my gosh, there is a book and I love it, and it's a book and it's Amy McNee. It's AMIEMCNEE, and the name of the book is "We Need Your Art. Stop Messing Around and Make Something." And it
Hmm.
is the perfect, it's not even for artists, it's not even for creatives. It is the perfect pep talk, like tough love, hard pep talk, perfect audiobook listen for anyone who has doubt, who doesn't want to put their things in there, who's in the sticky middle of stuff. Love it.
I
Highly
love
recommend.
that. This sounds amazing. Also, I love when we get, because we get a lot of the same answers, and this is a very unique answer. So I love this.
Oh,
Great.
perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So where can people find you and where can they follow you?
Sure. You can find me at hearsaypr.com. That's HEARSAYPR.com. Or I'm always on Instagram and love a good DM chat. So it's KJ Blattenbauer, KJBLATTENBAUER.
Okay, great. And Pitchworthy coming out and available on Amazon and everywhere, I assume.
Amazon, everywhere books are sold.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on, KJ. I'm so glad I got to chat to you. I think there is some like really practical and really good advice in here that people are really going to enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And that is a wrap.